Hello and welcome to another one video. What would happen if we could never fall asleep? After 2 days without sleep, the ability to make decisions is compromised and oral hallucinations begin. They are recognized with experience and can be ignored. However, the impairment of judgment has no fix. After 3 days, judgment is essentially destroyed and decisions start to become laughably wrong with hindsight. I can't speak of any longer period of sleep deprivation combined with critical decision making, since it is obvious that, for me, 3 days is the limit after which life is in danger due to incompetence, not to mention the lack of energy. This is with regard to long-distance solo sailing. Maybe if you don't have to make any critical decisions or do any detail work, it doesn't matter so much. On the other hand, it appears to be possible to go for extended periods of time with just 2 hours sleep per day, then an occasional period of extended sleep. You don't have full mental capacity or energy, though, so there is a cost. In other words, you can work out basic stuff and make the right decisions, but working up a fix from star sites with a sextant using the full maths would be beyond me. Luckily, we have GPS now. It looks as if both brain repair and bodily rest are required, and these are achieved during sleep. You can shave these repair downtimes to a minimum if you have to, but there is a cost. For me, full efficiency needs a total of 6 hours downtime a day, and a bit more is nice. It certainly doesn't have to be in one shot though. It seems as if one period of 3 to 4 hours is ideally needed, and the rest can be in shorter slots. About 2 hours or a bit less seems optimal, 30 minutes if that isn't possible. Or 2 hours a day for a week, then one extended period. Being forced to stay awake is a frightening prospect for me because I have experienced it. The pain is tangible and grows, and the fear of poor decisions or even worse if you fall asleep is another factor. Why do we never feel the moment when we fall asleep? To an Advaitin, it's an ill-formed question unless we have precise definitions for we, aware, and asleep. Advaitins would insist that there is no we, or a you, me, they, us, them, etc. The concept of individuality is obviated by Advaita's non-dual philosophy. There simply is no one to whom anything is happening. End of story. Ego is not sentient, instead, it, an artifact of a nervous system, is observed by sentience, awareness. Ego is not always there. It comes and goes, but identity is unchanging. Awareness is the sole identity and source of sentience. Also, the word aware is defined as transcendentally indefinable, whereas consciousness is endlessly definable. By definition, if consciousness is tamped down, so too is its processing of the various perceptual inputs, which results in less heft in laying down memories of what has happened. Note that awaking in the morning with a dream still fresh and available to recall nonetheless is quickly followed by "I can't remember much anymore." It is a very common experience that the subtleties of mental experiences are dropped off. So, no surprise then that this applies to remembering the moment of to sleep transition. And the word asleep is fraught with exceptions. Does one fall asleep if one only has a dream state moment of idle reverie, or must it be that sleep which is measurably evident with reduction of breathing, heart rate, brainwave changes, etc.? Sleep has many levels of bodily excitation, from deep quiescence to processing mightily during an emotionally triggering nightmare. It's a very hard word to use well. Now, let's toss all the above aside and announce that the ancients insist that if one is enlightened, then the transition to sleep is observed. Awareness of consciousness lessening, awareness of dreams being processed, and even awareness of nothing is reported by Advaitin experts. One witnesses all the various modes of sleeping, but awareness never changes even when consciousness can do nothing but change constantly. So, get enlightened and you won't miss the transition. In fact, you won't miss anything ever again. Not that you are not getting everything already, but just saying that the entire universe constructs your next thought, not your brain. Change any bit of the universe, and everything else adjusts to that change. Everything causes everything. We are all processing everything, and every POV is unique with a point value, while simultaneously it enjoys a cosmic perspective. We all know everything if we but would attend to anything. Knock and it shall be opened unto you and all that. If you want to see your mind go from waking to sleeping, you not only can, you already have. That is, if there was such a thing as you. Is death like falling asleep? Let's see, death or sleep. The question is death like falling asleep? Well, from my experience and some observations, the two are not alike at all. I'm going to explain this using metaphors because the correct words are not coming out. Sleep, peaceful or otherwise, is a controlled reduction of speed to a highly efficient form of cruise control with a washdown. Body is fixing itself in more ways than one. D. Death. While you can go peacefully into death via controlled situations like a sleep gas or overdosing on opiates where you pass out then die. A death in bed is a full shutdown at speed. The few people that have died while in bed sleeping seem always to be shuffled from their normal sleep position. Not sure why, but when I think about it, it looks like a pain contraction. I am going with that. When you sleep and get hit with death, you have one last painful episode. Think of it as a huge electric jolt to see if the engine can be restarted. Another note about the death process: a scientist was once beheaded in France. He asked his friends who were scientists to grab his head because he wanted to answer how long it would take to die. He said when the blade was down, grab his head and he would blink till he died. I don't know the correct answer, but I know it was more than 11 times he blinked while his friend counted out. If you don't fall asleep, will you die? Assuming you are referring to never falling asleep. I don't believe there has been any indication that not sleeping will kill you in of itself. It will impact your mood, alertness, stress levels, and memory. It can impair your judgment and cause you to injure yourself or kill yourself depending on activities. Driving a car, operating machinery, etc. Keep in mind you are also likely to fall asleep when you don't expect it. Again, could kill you if driving, etc. You may also start experiencing microsleep. From Microsleep Wikipedia, a microsleep (MS) is a temporary episode of sleep or drowsiness which may last for a fraction of a second or up to 30 seconds, where an individual fails to respond to some arbitrary sensory input and becomes unconscious. MS occur when an individual loses awareness and subsequently gains awareness after a brief lapse in consciousness, or when there are sudden shifts between states of wakefulness and sleep. In behavioral terms, MS manifest as droopy eyes, slow eyelid closure, and head nodding. In electrical terms, microsleeps are often classified as a shift in electroencephalography (EEG), during which 4-7 Hz theta wave activity replaces the waking 8-13 Hz alpha wave background rhythm. MS often occur as a result of sleep deprivation, though normal non-sleep deprived individuals can also experience MS during monotonous tasks. Some experts define microsleep according to behavioral criteria, head nods, drooping eyelids, etc., while others rely on EEG markers. Since there are many ways to detect MS in a variety of contexts, there is little agreement on how best to identify and classify microsleep episodes. Microsleep is extremely dangerous when they occur in situations that demand constant alertness, such as driving a motor vehicle or working with heavy machinery. People who experience microsleeps often remain unaware of them, instead believing themselves to have been awake the whole time or to have temporarily lost focus. If I fall asleep forever, what would happen? People with autoimmune diseases die this way. The body is just too tired to get up. Basically, you dehydrate and die. This often happens in their homes. They sleep a little more each day until one day they just don't get up again. It does not take that long, about 4 days would kill you. I have actually been on duty to wake up a young girl that had an overreaction to anesthesia after dental surgery. Woke her up twice a day, could not get her to drink anything other than strawberry milkshakes, no water, no soup. She however made a full recovery, no mental damage either. With fluids and food and hygiene, if you have a caretaker, they can extend the suffering or healing over a very long period of time. After about 30 days, bed sores begin and the muscle atrophy begins. The body is in an incredible amount of pain, and these people are often very disappointed if they wake up. So Sleeping Beauty always gives me the creeps. You really need to be some kind of mental freak to want to kiss someone who had been sleeping in an unchanged bed with no toileting for 100 years. Is it possible to never fall asleep? What would happen in that case? It's not possible, though there's at least one documented instance of an abnormal person who didn't ever need to sleep. For normal people, though, sleep is necessary. Lack of sleep causes cognitive decline and eventually problems such as slurred speech, dizziness, hallucinations, delusions, and psychosis. Sleep allows the brain to clean itself of toxins, cleaning that is necessary to normal function. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe the video.